England versus Japan, Twickenham this weekend. Going to be an interesting game. It's a good marker for both sides going into a World Cup cycle, playing against sides you wouldn't normally play against. Now, England are coming off the back of two very physical, brutal encounters against South Africa and the All Blacks. Basically, on as even, really. They win one by a point, they lose one by a point, but in real terms, that would have been a draw if you were to place for and against, tries for and against. Silly, really. Basically, two very brutal games. They're not going to be against a very quick, technically gifted Japanese side. The Japanese side have got a lot of pace, and they like a quick breakdown. They like quick ball, and they like moving the defence around a lot. Their England size could prove a weakness. It could prove a strength. Now, Japan's weakness is the scrum, the line-out, and the rolling maul. Plain and simple. They are weaker in those areas. However, the maul, they're a very organised forward pack. They can maul themselves. Line-out, they're not bad at the line-out. They have some weird combinations at the line-out to confuse bigger sides because they're not the tallest. It's the scrum where their slight lack of size in some areas does count against them. However, their scrummaging technique is rather good. It's all about that initial push and getting the advantage with the referee early on. So England will like more scrums, line-outs and mauls because it will start to tire out that Japanese pack who are a little bit on the light side. However, the Japanese make up for that weakness in size with very good technical ability, very good speed of delivery of the ball. Even when they do have scrums, they're in and out within a couple of seconds, so they use their weakness as a strength. Breakdown, they're very quick. England have given away a lot of penalties, so that's going to be a key area to look at, is how England work the breakdown. If they get in the bad books early on, it could be a very long day for that England forward pack. The referees are going to be hot on that breakdown. If England are seen slowing the ball down far too much, they're going to get pinged straight up. Referees know this England side does have an issue with breakdown discipline and holding on the floor, not releasing in the tackle. Basic skills have been letting England down in this area. Japan will look to focus, if they have any chance of winning, is to get a lot of penalties in that area, because that will help the Japanese no end, especially if England get a yellow card. And that's something England have been doing too much lately, is too many yellow cards for either high tackles or issues with the breakdown tackle area. The conditions will have a massive part to play. At the moment, it's clear blue skies and sunlight. It's cold-ish, but it's dry. It's not raining like it has done over the weekend on and off. We've seen some heavy rain over the weekend. That will really suit the Japanese. Dry conditions. It makes handling of the ball a lot easier. They do move the ball quickly. They do have some good technical players, but they also like to run the ball. Some of their backs are quite sizable units themselves and take a bit of stopping, but they're very quick. And if the weather's like this, there's not going to be a lot of scrums now, is there? If the weather is like it has been over the weekend with heavy rain, thunderstorms and strong winds, that may suit the English game, because it'll be broken up. It'll be a power game. Keep it tight. Something the Japanese don't like doing is keeping it tight. They like throwing the ball around to move the opposition around. If the weather comes in and it's horrible, it's advantage England all day long. It's not to say discount out the Japanese from, giving it their all, which they will, because Eddie Jones, yet again in a press conference, is slagging off the opposition in the week before a key test match. He's saying the Japanese should go to the temple and pray, because apparently they're no hopers. Yet when he was coaching this side, he told them you can beat anyone. So I don't know what his mindset is, to wind up the opposition, or is this how he motivates his players? But every time he does this, it seems to backfire for England. So we'll see what happens on the day. The Japanese will know England have gone through two brutal test matches, and I would expect Eddie Jones to make a lot of changes, blood some new players, rotate some players. Will that disjoint the England side? We know that the Cipriani question of fly half, he's not in the squad. This would be a perfect game for Cipriani to really light up the test scene and show, look, come on. These Japanese players do play in Super Rugby, so they're not no-hopers. They are exceptionally skilled. The forward pack is where the weakness lies, really, in the scrum. Apart from that, these Japanese players are technically very good. They tackle hard. They run the ball hard. They're well coached. They play at a high level domestically. Come on, let's not kid ourselves here. Yes, England are favourites, and this will be a perfect game for Cipriani, but we don't have Cipriani in the squad. So Eddie Jones, if he wants to mix it up at fly half, who does he put in there? Is it forward? Is it a game for forward? These Japanese forward pack are very quick and very mobile and a lot bigger than forward, and they will hit him hard. They will go down his channel. Is it a game for Farrell? Keeping it tight. These are the things that Eddie Jones hasn't really answered as much. We'll see what line out he puts out. I expect a lot of changes, rotation of the squad. these Japanese players, that's going to be a full-strength team. They're going to know each other inside and out. They're going to be well-oiled. If Eddie Jones makes too many changes, that could also disjoint the England attack and make the game a lot closer than it needs to be. We are expecting an England win, but you shouldn't underestimate these Japanese. They've beaten the Welsh when the Welsh made a lot of changes. The Welsh got embarrassed. They've beaten a South African side that was misfiring, much like England are right now. So we should not underestimate this Japanese side and what they're capable of. They regularly beat Tier 2 nations that they're competing against it at their level, and they have taken the odd Tier 1 nation scalp. So we shouldn't underestimate how far this side has come since the early days of 91, 95 in the World Cup when they were getting hammered by 100 points or more and having record defeats. They have come a hell of a long way in 20 odd years. Shouldn't underestimate them. They're going to be fired up. They're going to be motivated by the comments made by Eddie Jones in the week. It's going to be an interesting test match. The advantage is still England, but it depends on selection, the breakdown, the weather conditions, and discipline. And I think the Japanese might be more disciplined than England. I really do. I think the way they play in the Super Rugby, they're going to have that Super Rugby discipline where they're going to give away a lot less penalties than the Northern Hemisphere side. We keep seeing it year on year. The Southern Hemisphere side seem to have better discipline when it comes to the breakdown, the tackle area, the ruck, the maul, the scrum, the line out, you name it, all over the pitch. They seem to have better discipline on an average than the Northern Hemisphere sides, and I expect that to continue, even though Japan technically are a Northern Hemisphere side. Their players play in the Super Rugby. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below. And I'll have some more videos for you soon.